So here we are at Croft for round 6 of the Caterham Academy, where the title race in both groups is really starting to hot up. I planned to sit this one out as it's my daughter's birthday, so decided to hand over the baton to Charlie Lower, one of the championship contenders of the white group.
Hello, I'm Charlie Lower and I'm currently racing in the Caterham Academy white group. So Paul usually runs in the green group, which is over there, and he's asked if we could take you down the paddock to show a bit of behind the scenes of what it's like to race in the Academy in the white group. So let's go have a look.
I think it's fair to say the white group got off to a slightly slower start to the championship, but have much improved than many of the whites, including Charlie, and now running times in line with some of the top green drivers.
So we've just finished qualifying and it was a blinder. I was having such a good time. We got actually red flagged, which was really annoying, so we lost a few laps, but when we came into the pits I was currently at P1, but then we went out for like 3 more laps. Harry George just nipped me by 0.07 seconds. So the only bit of maintenance we're actually having to do between races, keep the same tyres and everything, but it was slightly, my brake pedal didn't feel quite right and had a bit of air in it. After the red flag I went into the first corner right behind someone and I jumped on the brakes and I felt the pedal just went slightly further than I thought, and I was like so we've bled the brakes now, but that's the only change we're going to do between now and racing. So now the brakes are bled, we check tyre pressures, fuel it up, and then we'll go racing again.
Charlie got off the line okay to hold his P2 position, which put him out of harm's way for when the pack went through turn 1. The oohs and ahs tell you everything you need to know about that, but it was soon back to business, and then Charlie and Harry George started tussling right from the outset. There was plenty of action going on in the main pack, but out front it was nip and tuck all race, and the lead changed from Harry to Charlie and back again several times. Smooth racing lines are probably not what Charlie's used to, as he's a stunt driver and a precision driver, but on track of course the smoother the better, which is probably where I'm going wrong. So it couldn't be more fitting that the day we hand over the reins to Charlie Lower, he wins the flipping race and enjoys a well-deserved celebration at the end of the day. A solid P2 for Harry. Surely it's between these two now for the championship, though William James, who wasn't racing, may have something to say about that. And a brilliant 3rd place on the podium for Giles Perry. First one of the season and hopefully a few more to come. However, the day wasn't quite over. After my daughter's birthday dinner on Saturday night, I decided at the last minute to leave first thing on Sunday morning and do the race. Packed to the nines, we drove 5 hours in the Caterham with no tools, no fuel cans, no spare tyres, just us and a standard road car to arrive at Croft for qualifying and managed to get a very surprising 10th place on the grid. I was actually chuffed to bits, as I've never been there before. I've done no testing, no sim work, not even seen a video of which way the track went. It was such a last minute decision, and one I'm delighted I made with a little help from Tiff. After seeing the carnage mid-pack in the white group race, I wanted to get off to a good start and luckily managed to pull off another blinder and picked up a couple of places and made it clean through Hawthorn, which is the first corner. In fact, every car now raced in for the entire race, which is great to be a part of. For once, I suppose. In terms of pace, nobody was more surprised than me that I was really on it and in touching distance of the leading pack. But alas, there was a series of corners at the end of the track that I just couldn't master, and I lost time on every single lap. It was so frustrating, but just down to the lack of laps driven. Each time I'd think, brake a bit later, carry more speed through the corner, and each time I'd still be miles off the pace, brake too early, and not carry enough speed through. And Mark Williams took no time at all in making that his go-to for the overtakes he made on me. The race was actually quite a quiet one. I was being held up by Mark the whole way until the last few corners, where he was much quicker than me, but it being the Caterham Academy, it was so ridiculously hard to overtake. And Mark's another one of those drivers that's come on so much from the beginning of the season, and he really impressed me with his driving. We shared positions several times. I'd finally get past, and then each time Mark would get me at the same place where I was slow on those last few corners. You would think I would learn, but I never did. And Theo the artist made a rare mistake, so both Mark and I picked up another place, and I finished P7 overall. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be so happy with a P7 finish, and it just goes to show you don't need the big trailer and weeks of training, and it shows how diverse this championship really is. At the end of the day, I'll be lying if I said I wasn't out there to win, but this race reminded me of the fun factor too, the camaraderie and just how good these little cars are. It's incredible that you can drive to the track, do your race, do nothing at all to your car, and then drive home again, which sadly reminded me only another 5 hours until we get back to Somerset.